Manchester United trigger Joshua Zirkzee's release clause as the first major signing under Dan Ashworth is imminent. These are reports from the Evening Standard. The article now trending on the OneFootball app and website. This deal, as we reported yesterday, is set to be announced soon by Manchester United, title sponsors of this show throughout the course of the Euros. Reporting now that the release clause has been met. Of course, we want your views, we want your opinions. Make sure like buttons have been hit as well. And if you want to go read the article, download the OneFootball app now. All this news. A lot of you will say, Terry, where's the sources? Where's the articles? Where can I read them? It's all on OneFootball. So scan the QR code now and go and read it. I'm very excited about this deal, as I already mentioned, plus a big update from Fabrizio Romano as well, who states that Man United are set to sign Joshua Zirkzee and De Ligt. It says both players are currently away with the Netherlands at Euro 2024, where they are preparing for their semi-final showdown with England in Dortmund on Wednesday night. Fabrizio says that Zirkzee is now set to join from the Serie A outfit Bologna, whilst De Ligt is also believed to be close to making the move to Manchester United. So these reports on OneFootball, these reports from Fabrizio Romano, as quoted here, that Zirkzee is now set to join and that De Ligt is very close indeed. And look, I had a lot of messages from people yesterday saying, Terry, can you keep us updated? Can you make sure we know what's going on? And there we go. I mean, it's out there to be seen. The news stories are there. I am, as I say, excited about the prospect of these deals coming in. And I know there's question marks over them. I am not ignoring that. So whenever I see the challenges in the comment section that state, Terry, that buying and letting him go, is that not a red flag? Yes. Terry, Zirkzee isn't exactly prolific. Is that not a red flag? Yes. Neither of them are playing for this Dutch team, which a lot of people have said isn't even particularly great. Is that a red flag? And I'll say, yes, I'll agree to those things. Objectively speaking, I'm not going to disagree with them and come out with some BS answer as to why there's not a concern surrounding them. However, when I look at the prices, when I look at the profiles, when I look at the reaction from fans towards these deals, it just feels and smells so different to business, transfer business and activity that Man United have done over the last decade. And that actually fills me with a little bit of joy. The fact that we have a new regime in, as the headline here says, the first Dan Ashworth signing, and whether it's the price, the salary, the negotiation time and speed, everything, the whole caboodle just feels different. And that is why I have a little bit more, I don't even want to maybe use the word confidence. Hope is probably the word that these deals could end up being good for Manchester United. But of course, and as ever, I want your thoughts and feelings below. Now, moving into North London, it's reported that Arsenal agree the £45 million move for Riccardo Calafiori. It says Arsenal were close to announcing the signing. The Gunners have stepped up their interest in the versatile Bologna defender since holders Italy's shock exit from Euro 2024 last weekend. Arteta wants the new left-footed centre-back to help bolster his squad with another Premier League title charge next season, having already completed the permanent £27 million deal for David Rea. This is now, according to Sports Zone, Arsenal have agreed a £45 million fee with Serie A side Bologna for Calafiori, who is also already agreed personal terms and will apparently head to North London after a post-season holiday. And look, what can often happen with these deals, and it's really interesting because a lot of the transfer stories that are now being reported on by the Ornsteins and the Fabrizios. So Calafiori is one of them. Zirkzee is another. It was a lot of sort of lower level press in terms of how fans tier them that broke those stories. And it's similar with this. And it's given me the same feels as to when Arsenal signed Gabriel Jesus. A lot of the lesser known press said it's done, the player's just on holiday and it'll be announced when he gets back. And a lot of the tier one press just went silent on it, or just gave sort of treading water updates for a number of weeks. So I'm not going to suddenly discount another media outlet just because they're not popular or well known. But it does at this particular juncture, when you read the stories, feel like it is a deal that will complete for Arsenal 45 million pound. I just think is that 45 million pound or 45 million euros? This article says 45 million pound, but even then, in 2024, for such a highly touted, versatile player, it's not exactly expensive. It's not exactly a when you think about how much money people like John Stones were sold for all those years ago. And I know there's some Premier League and English tax in that always adds to the value of a football player. This looks like a really good piece of business for Arsenal. It does. And look, they need to then focus on the attacking areas. And we've seen the links to the Rafinhas and co over the last few days. But according to more reports today, this deal is going to happen. Arsenal fans, how do you feel? Now, I want to move on to Chelsea because I saw a really interesting story today on One Football that says new name emerges as the main target for Chelsea striker search. And it says that Chelsea are pushing for Karim Adeyemi. It says Chelsea appears to have made Karim Adeyemi their top target as of now. It's been another busy summer already for the Blues, who have signed Tosin and Dewsbury Hall, Willian, Amadi Kellyman, and much, much more following the appointment of Enzo Maresca as a new manager. Now, we all saw Adeyemi help Borussia Dortmund have a brilliant run in the Champions League last season. There's still a lot of rawness about this young man, but there is a very, very high ceiling. And the one thing he does possess, which I think such a key component and asset and attribute to have in modern day football, is wonderful athleticism and impeccable acceleration. It isn't just the speed of which he can run, it's the acceleration. In football, that first 5 to 10 yards is such an important and such a key component in how you, in getting past players, how you sort of break lines with your sprinting ability, how you give your team additional outlets, working off the shoulder of an opponent. And this is one of those potentially scary signings that Chelsea could make. There are talks that they're still looking at Samu from Atletico Madrid. We're going to talk about that a little bit later today on the Top 6 show. But this potential deal for Adeyemi has me worried. This potential deal for Adeyemi, honestly, I'm fearful of it. I'm concerned about it. I'm worried that they could go and pull this off. I really, really am worried that they could go and pull this off. This would be, along with Dewsbury Hall and along with Tosin, really good business that would make them a far more potent and dangerous team next year. And we know he can play out in the wide areas, and Maresca is renowned. He loves them. When you read up about Maresca, the one thing I've read on multiple occasions is how he loves wide players. He loves to use the inside forwards, and Adeyemi really could be a powerful component for this new sort of Chelsea era under Clearlake and Todd Bowley. But I'd love to get Chelsea fans' opinions on this. You can go and read that article right now on One Football. So scan the QR code and go and check that out. Another story that they have also published today alongside Jogo as well, the Portuguese publication, is they claim that Liverpool have now joined the race, along with Arsenal, to be fair, to sign
€100 million midfielder João Neves. It says Arsenal and Liverpool are believed to have joined Manchester United in the race. The Benfica teenage midfield prodigy has been heavily linked with a big move to Manchester United all summer. However, a high-profile deal has yet to come to fruition, with the suitors for Neves seemingly likely to have to pay a hefty €100 million release clause. It is now being reported by Portuguese publications that Liverpool and Arsenal have now entered the race, and One Football have heavily focused upon Liverpool in this. And the nervousness maybe is a little bit of PTSD, because Man United were heavily linked to Darwin Núñez. Now, some will say, I'm glad we didn't get Darwin Núñez, and that's fair. But it was the Portuguese publications who first started reporting on Liverpool kind of hijacking that deal and getting ahead of Man United. So personally, I don't want to see this happen again. I have a genuine concern. I have a genuine worry that they could jump in this slipstream. I was surprised and a little bit shocked to see him not get more game time at Euro 2024. I've followed him a lot over the course of the last year. He was first linked to Man United around 12 months ago. So I've watched a number of games, kept up to date with, match reports and scouting reports on how he's been doing. And I think there is a tremendous talent in there. Now, it could be the same as other young Portuguese players who have left their homeland too early, the Renato Sanchez's of this world and the João Felixes. So maybe he should stay a little bit longer. But I would love to see him at Manchester United. I would love to see him developed here. But it does appear Liverpool could be in the mix. And although they rebolstered their midfield last year, they do now have a new manager. They do now have Edwards back at the football club. And the transfer activity and signings during Edwards' era at Liverpool, in my opinion, and I'd love to get Liverpool fans' views on this, were far better, far stronger, far more successful under his tutelage. So now that he's back and running the football club, it wouldn't surprise me if there was an addition to the midfield this year, even though lots of money and a big rebuild was done in that particular department at the beginning or in the summer of 2023. Liverpool, of course, Champions League team. They're a team that should be challenging for the Premier League title next year. That should be the minimum standard when it comes to the league campaign. Yes, it's a new manager, but they don't need a rebuild as a football club. They've been in and out of title contention for the vast majority of the last 5, 6, 7 years. Whenever they've been in the Champions League, and they obviously missed a couple of them in that time, or one of them in that time, they're in it, and they've always had a really good chance of winning it. They're one of the top teams in Europe still. So I would expect to see Liverpool challenging next year, and a player like João Neves will give them an absolutely tip-top opportunity of doing that. And if it happens, I'll be jealous. I'll praise this signing for Liverpool. It would be phenomenal business. It really would. But as ever, look, I want your views. I want your opinions on these stories that are circulating today. You can go and read I know a lot of you challenge them, but I'd love to you guys to go and actually read the articles. Go read the Now One Football. Download the app is the best place for it. You can set up the notifications on there for your club or certain leagues, or certain results. So it makes it really bespoke to you and how you want to use it. You can just scan the QR code or click on the link below. Until next time, take care, goodbye, God bless, and I'll see you soon. Peace.